1 year ago, I was working at Subway, full time, and after 5 years, I had had enough. I put in my notice and started streaming full time. This world is a result of that year, and this is the story of my year in hardcore Minecraft. As always, if you enjoy this video, leave a like, and consider subscribing as well. I'm live 4 times every week over on Twitch, so if you want to see the current state of my world, then come and join me over there too. Now sit back, relax, and let me bring you back in time to my first hardcore world. When I started this world, I was so excited because it was my first stream as a full-time content creator, after leaving a job I had held for 5 years, through university and through the pandemic. But after half a decade, I had decided that it was time to move on. So I loaded up my stream and started my journey in this world. It started on 1.17.1, and I quickly found myself getting geared up, going down and mining, getting full diamond armor, and slowly but surely building up my base in a cave and getting my first little friend in the form of Bean, named after the new, at the time, raw iron blocks. She took her comfortable spot on her bed and I got to preparing for the fight of my life. I got potions, armor, new real estate for myself so that as soon as I take out the demonic flying seagull that haunts my dreams, I can have a place to sit by the fire and look at the trophy of my endeavours, that is the head of the dragon, and question who I am and what I am to become now that I've taken out my greatest and only enemy. Also snacks. I journeyed out to find the portal, jumped in for my first hardcore dragon fight. I took it out with slow falling potions, a fully enchanted bow, and self-hatred channeled into undeniable power. Once the dragon was taken down, I managed to go through one of the gateways and find myself an elytra. But little did I know at the time, this elytra would be my biggest mistake. With my new elytra, it opened up the world to faster and better exploration. And with my newfound freedom, I found no better time than to start preparing for my first mega build. And so I decided to start collecting wither skeleton skulls to get a wither for a beacon. I geared up and went to the nether, but one missing bit of equipment would cost me everything. I get to the nether fortress I used to find blaze rods, and I start looking for skeletons. I got 2 skulls fairly quickly, but then I was looking for another hour and a half with no luck. And with my lack of luck, I was excited to find any wither skeleton. So much so that I didn't realise that my gold boots broke. And well, when I dived down with my elytra on, I didn't see the zombified piglin that caused what happened next. I was about to get real mad there. The zombified piglin, wither skeleton, my overexcitement at the prospects of future projects, and unawareness of my lack of protection in both gold armor and totems of undying, all resulted in the swift end to my first hardcore world at 180 in-game days. But if you think that a little setback like dying is gonna stop me, then you're wrong. Once I had lost my hardcore world, I took a day or two to recover emotionally, since I've never lost so much progress before in my 10 plus years of playing Minecraft. You're going to see a few worlds in this story, and once you've seen it all, leave a comment telling me which world you liked the most. Stick around and see where all of my worlds have led me today. I loaded up Minecraft again because I would not let one itsy bitsy little teeny brutal death stop me. I set out to start hardcore season 2 Electric Boogaloo, where I spawned in one of the craziest areas I've ever seen in a Minecraft world. This is the Shattered Savanna biome and is about as held together as my social life, but I would soon call it home, settling into an area close to the foot of the crazy mountains. In this world, I made sure to slow down and appreciate everything I was doing, Since my last world was taken away so quickly, I wanted to make sure that I was prepared for anything. I built a house that to this day actually remains one of my favourites. I also found myself setting up a large flat area for a villager farm and later a new barn-like structure for my storage, since I wanted to keep my new house and crafting space separate. This world is where I started incorporating some stories into my builds. For this world, not individually, but as a large-scale story instead, and this was the start of a settlers community that had brought magic and mystique to the area, starting in my attic with some amethyst around my enchanting table. But if you keep watching, you'll see why this world's story was never meant to be. Everything was looking good and starting to come together. And since I was prepared, I decided to go and fight the dragon pretty early on, since I had gotten all of the materials for it rather quickly, with the nether spawn being accommodating for getting everything quite quickly. I ventured out once again to take on the dragon, but my confidence in beating the dragon many times in Minecraft, although just once in hardcore, made me rather casual about it, as it was just a simple thing to do and I was quite complacent. He kept knocking me into the fire. What the f- Yeah, I didn't beat the dragon. No matter how many times you walk the same path, there will always be moments you trip. And it just so happens that this trip resulted in me falling flat on my face and bringing yet another end to my hardcore world at just over 100 days in. This death actually really disappointed me with the work that I was putting into not only the builds, but the stories surrounding them. I took a while again to come back to hardcore, working on other projects for TikTok, YouTube and Twitch, which you can find links to in the description. Now, I won't leave you hanging. This next world is my current one, and today it's been exactly 1 year since I started it. I loaded into one of the most unforgiving terrains you can get in Minecraft, a jungle. But that would not stop me. I quickly got to work cutting down trees, gathering seeds, and letting my possible undiagnosed ADHD let me get sidetracked when I saw a parrot that I very creatively named Red. By the time that Red and I were best friends, it was already turning to nighttime, and I wasn't about to let my third hardcore world go on my first night. I found my way to a beach and started digging down into a little cave to make my base for the night. But that's when everything went wrong. As I was digging down from the surface, I heard a bow shot from the tree line, and I started to panic, blocking myself in. But what I didn't realise is that Red was still outside, and when I opened up the blocked off entrance to let him in, the skeleton shot at me again. Red, the valiant little guy that he is, flew in the path of the arrow to protect me, dying in the process. It is very likely that I would be dead in this world without Red, and there is a permanent place for him in my hardcore world, as I owe it all to him. So leave a comment remembering Red with a salute to my little best friend. I will remember you. The next day I found a blue parrot and creatively named him Blue because I'm creative, and not at all traumatized by watching my best friend of one day get Katniss Everdeen'd in front of me. I realised that I didn't want to set up my jungle starter base in the jungle, and so I built my starter house just off the beach in the water, so that mobs couldn't get to it as easily. I made an anvil and renamed the first pickaxe that I made in the world as a symbol of my beginnings. Over the next few weeks, I would build up a jungle village that came to be known as Korakorako Village, with stories inspired by the real-life Papua New Guinean tribe of the Asaro Mudmen. Continuing the village, I would move on to start other projects as well, as the world progressed, including an underground amethyst-powered steampunk kingdom when the large caves and cliffs update was introduced, allowing me to find such a cavern. A massive biodome consisting of 137,469 glass blocks, yes I did the maths to figure that one out, that was created over a 7-month period that, as this video is live, is being turned into an alien containment zone with skulk lining the floors, and many creatures unknown to Minecraft being kept from the rest of the world in its walls. And many other projects that are still in the initial planning stage. But those projects pale in comparison to this nature palace that I built over a marathon stream that lasted a week. Completely impromptu and terraformed myself with no prior planning. Little did I know during that week, but I would eventually call this palace my home, with plans for huge castles and villages, one of which I've already done in the surrounding terrain. Now I bet you're wondering how I got to this point in my world without dying, with my previous world lasting no more than 200 days. Well, the trick is to assume that everything will kill you, because anything could. I've had some close calls where totems have saved my life. I fought raids the same way I fought the dragon, but this time with an elytra. So this time, with slow falling potions, I could just remain in the air for a long time and use rockets to move around, while taking out the mobs on the ground from above. After I got totems, I didn't need to be as careful, as I knew I had some wiggle room with not perishing at every single mistake I made. This world, at 1800 days so far, has been a process, and has also been my livelihood for a year. And I'm thankful for everyone that has joined me on this journey live. And it is my hope for this world to last a long time. So come over and see it on Twitch, and subscribe here for more content. Hardcore Minecraft is exactly as it says on the tin. It's hard. But in the end, sticking with it will result in something that you can look back on and be absolutely blown away by the things that you can do that you may not even see for yourself. Take care and love yourself.